fed them as larvae is now dwindling. If they don't find food quickly, they will all starve. The juicy grubs nearby are a staple meal for many underground opportunists, but for now at least, they will go ignored. This budding Atacephalotus leafcutter colony has only one viable source of food, and it must be collected above ground.
Hello everybody and welcome to Empires of the Undergrowth. My name is Sean and today we're taking on the rainforest and this one was tough. The new ants that we've got, these leaf ants, are really fun to play. I really like the mechanic of the game, of the way that they play. I just think it's pretty fun. We have several new tiles to play with and I'll explain more of those in a bit. Now, this test run I did was just... I did it this morning and I didn't expect to win, but we ended up winning. So let's review the footage and see how we get on.
The small scouting party
digging out
of
here.
minor workers could lead any number of deadly jungle creatures back to their undefended queen. They will need time and luck on their side. The workers have located a patch of young seedlings, just what they were looking for. The leaves are soft enough to be sliced up with ease and carried back to the nest. The harvested leaf chunks are not eaten directly. Instead, they are used by the very smallest minim workers to cultivate a nutritious fungus.
So as you can see here, I was just having a quick look around, sizing up what food options are available and where the enemies are. Now, the enemies come in a bit randomly, and they're a fucking pain in the arse. Your run on Insane could just be ruined by one ill-placed enemy mob, whether that's a spider, a fucking worm, a beetle, whatever.
The ants' activities
so you
outside
see me
the nest have
cautiously
not gone unnoticed.
excavating out.
They are being watched.
Because there's no point, because we're leaf cutters, and we, as the narrator said, we create this fungus. There's actually no point in us clearing out the mobs. They're just a hindrance for our base building, essentially. There's no point in cleaning out the underground because we're not going to gain any food from doing so, and it's just going to be a waste of time. So just don't bother. Just build around them. And where that is, you'll probably sit and find out. I mean, I had a couple of practice runs. But this is only like my 9th or 10th run or stab at this. And, yeah, like I say, somehow we managed to fucking do it. Right, so I'm building a couple more workers. Now, the workers are cheap, sure, but they don't gather as much food. They only gather, I think it's like 7 food that they can carry. And it's kind of a pain, not gonna lie. So these are little mini workers. You see how they are? These tiny little ants running around carrying the leaves now. And there's our worker ants next to them. So there is like this massive discrepancy. They just spawn. I mean, I don't know how they spawn. I just know that they spawn sort of concurrent to the size of your colony. You get a bunch of them. Over to the right there, you see with the -1 going down is the rubbish tile, and on the rubbish tiles, we that's where the excess gets stored and picked up and put away. Just working this out now. So, above ground, I love this. Love how our ants climb the stalks and pick off parts of the leaves. Just really cool little animation. Quite enjoy. So we got an enemy ant colony, and this is who we're directly competing against. Now, on the runs, the main run is, as long as they don't take the top area, we'll be okay. If they do start taking that top area, we're fucking screwed. As I'm waiting for 80 of the green, grey and red bar at the top. I'm waiting for 80 of that. And then we can finally start getting our decent workers. These are called media ants. And they hit pretty hard. They can handle their own against most low-level enemies, unlike the workers. And they can carry a lot more. So these are the primary ones that we're going to be using. We're basically just going to be getting
the most
red
accessible
ants.
leaves are located to the north of the nest entrance. However, another atta colony has already laid claim to them. The close proximity of these nests places the two colonies in direct competition with one another. Time will tell which has the potential to grow into a great empire, and which will submit to the unforgiving law of the Undergrowth.
Damn straight, brother. Right, so we will need to undercut those ant competition. But what I found is, if they take the leaves to the north, we're fucking screwed. So you're just waiting. Just, come on. It's just a fucking waiting game sometimes. So you obviously start off slow, but as we progress gathering the food, things will speed up with our building. There we go. And as you see, whenever you spend food, you get this more in the red, and that's because the fungus is basically turns to rubbish, and that's what these little minim workers will pick up and deposit in the rubbish pile. On the rubbish pile, you see on the top right the nice little red number. It just keeps jumping up and then going down. That's because the rubbish tiles over time get rid of all that crap. Just decomposes. Now, these rubbish tiles actually deal damage to your worker ants. They don't deal damage to the little minim fuckers. They're the ones that actually do carry stuff there. But they do damage your worker ants. And any other ant that crosses over it, for that matter. Alright, so we nearly finished ripping off this stalk. I found that you have to put your markers pretty much bang on the stalk if you want them to pick it. Otherwise, they'll just sometimes they just run past it. So we got combat disabled because we just don't want to be wasting time sitting around. Get ourselves some more troops. Store's full. Okay, you start upgrading that then. And build a couple more. There are only 5. Come on, workers. There we go. Yep. Come on. There we go. Right. Now we're getting and gathering. This is a long haul, this one, and there's obviously no real guarantee of success because of the random placement of where the opposing colony comes to gather. If they gather over to the far left, you've got a better chance just because it takes them longer to get over there, but they also occasionally will switch it up. Like on this one, they primarily one sort of lot went left to start with, which gave us a bit of time. But as you can see, they're already damn near double our leaf gathering amount. So this is where we have to just keep chipping away. Just keep chipping away, chipping away, chipping away. The reason why I did the second lot of workers is, again, just to get 14 workers going, gathering leaves. Yes, they don't gather that much, but it allows us to start steamrolling in with
As
our
the sun
numbers.
sets
Plus, they're
below the
cheap and
horizon
affordable
and the
to
thick
get.
rainforest canopy shrouds all but the slightest glimmer of moonlight, the predators of the night begin to emerge.
Okay, so the night predators are pretty fun, and we will end up fighting all of them in this run, so I can show you that as we get there, and the narrator no doubt will mention them. So, night 1 again, we were relatively lucky. We didn't get a mega pain in the arse. So, you see me start to move the workers. So that's a harvester spider. Just a little sticky leg, thin leg thing. Pain in the arse.
The ants must defend
Get
themselves.
some more of them. So, here we go. Come on.
An ant has fallen prey to a wandering harvestman. Its long, slender legs keep its vulnerable body elevated high above the leaf litter, and when threatened, it can release strong-smelling odors to deter other predators. A stern response will be needed to drive this striding nuisance away.
So with the harvestmen, you damage them so far, and they basically just run away. They have a tendency to try and avoid you. You can pretty much just ignore them. But I left combat on just so that our line wasn't disrupted, and we can knock them down pretty quickly. It's not the end of the world. See, just running away. It's like, nope, don't want to deal with you. Go gather this. They'll normally just gather to the left and to the right first, and then by the start of day 2, you want to start moving more towards the center and grabbing that food there. The reason being is so that you can deny the food for your enemy, deny that sort of asset, and make the other colony go further away to collect their food. The problem is, to the top right, if they're gathering from there, it's pretty much fucking game over. Or if they send their full force to gather from there, because they get like, I think it's like something like 5,000 food up there, just off rip, that they can gather super quick, and there's just no way of stopping it. Not early on, at least. A little bit later,
Overwhelmed by the
we can kind of
defensive
get in there and
leafcutter
try and disrupt them,
forces,
but
the
in general,
harvestman
no.
decides to make a swift exit.
Yeah, so you get the harvestmen down to like about half health, and they just book it, which is quite nice, and then they tend not to bother you after that. We are getting a good amount of these media workers now, which is lovely. So we're doing all the major gathering. As you can see, we've run out of food. So I have to keep food enabled here, so that I can actually see what we're bloody well doing. Because it's a bit of a pain, not gonna lie. Some more. So now we're starting to, roll in the food nice and quickly, and be able to get, obviously, more ants, which is the whole point. The number at the top for the amount of food / fungi that you can store on that red bar is, correlates to how many sort of tiles, worker tiles you basically put down. So each tile that you put down can store 20 fungus. And that's why that number will keep, gradually going up the more that we place and the more that gets built. See, we're just, even one ant on its own is basically winning this fight against the harvester. So we don't have to worry about him. Yeah, man, getting going. So we're chipping away nicely now. We've got our 3 little workers just beavering away, trying to build the colony, while the mining workers are doing all this, like, collecting and depositing. The reason why we're upgrading the rubbish pile to the right there is because we can then it processes the rubbish faster. The more you upgrade those tiles, the faster you do it. I think level 3 is something like every half a second or something like that. It's nice and quick anyway. So again, because we don't need to fight the enemy, and yes, you don't. Personally, I don't think you need to upgrade your forces. I think it's purely a numbers one. This one, you don't need to upgrade anybody to level 2 or whatever. Just keep placing workers, get the numbers rather than the quality. Go for quantity. At least that's my theory. Yeah. We got lovely. Another 2 of them down. Seems to be slowing down a bit now. Come on, gather. But yeah, we want to get a mega stockpile of these media ants. Again, just because they can gather so quickly. And they can hold their own, unlike our workers. And we could just use our little worker group, our group 1 that we've got here, just to grab like the little tidbits that are left behind, just to mop that up. Whereas we'll use our big red workers to, or red ants, should I say, red media marked ants. They use them to gather just the mainstay of the food. But yeah, this is a race again. It's not just the clock. It's also a bit of RNG because certain enemies spawn in certain areas, and there's chances that you can spawn one way or another way, and because of that, it does make this really difficult. Like on some of the earlier runs I was doing in testing, just getting smashed right at the start. I had one where we had a couple of beetles spawn at the start and just completely disrupted the workers that we had, and just destroyed them pretty much off the get-go, which meant because we then got a slow start, we got nowhere near the amount of food that we needed to win. So you see me flick 1 to set people off down here. We've gathered enough here, so now we're going to start gathering more food elsewhere, because our local resources have runneth dry. There we go, lovely. Right, dig out another patch here. So the reason why we want a second group is just for that flexibility of setting one to combat on, but food gather off, so that they can be the guards for the other train. Now, it wasn't necessarily that important here. I pretty much just set everyone to gather. For the main runs that I did previously, it was required, but for this one, we were kind of just getting away with it. So, as is the case with RNG missions, but yeah. So we see, like, right, we got a couple of harvestman spiders up here. Smash them, no worries. They're not gathering, so these are the main ones. Those were the main leaves that we wanted to gather. Quick! Get some upgrades, people. Upgrades.
Daybreak has arrived, and the creatures of the night scurry back to the dark crevices of the undergrowth. For the ants, however, the objectives of the day remain unchanged. Locate vegetation, defend supply lines, and process leaves. There is no time for rest.
Yeah, so we're grabbing all of them in the center. So, like I said, by day 2, you know, you need to be getting in on this center stuff. I decided to just be cheeky here because the red bar was so big. I thought, all right, we'll be cheeky. We'll build ourselves some more workers.
A young velvet worm,
Just 'cause they're cheap, and again, we can just get more legs on the ground.
ecuadoriensis, has been uncovered by the ants. These ancient mysterious predators are masters of ambush. They creep toward their unwitting victims silently on soft, hollow legs. Once in range, they spirt oscillating streams of slime, forming a wide net that entraps their prey. A brightly patterned jumping spider, Casperi D. purpureus, has subdued one of the workers.
So I haven't actually noticed
this expert solo hunter
there is an enemy in the nest right now.
agility with incredible forward vision, allowing it to pounce on unsuspecting prey with pinpoint accuracy. One of the ants has fallen prey to a young, leaf-mimic praying mantis. Once
I'm finally
range,
like,
its
shit!
long,
We accidentally did
razor-clad
uncover
forelegs
that.
can ensnare and impale victims with lightning speed.
And as you can see, the queens took a bit of a beating. But, yeah, we're able to kill that off. The reason why I did this second area was just to stick a ton more media ants. But as you can see, we've still got another area set. I was also thinking of digging it out where I can make an even bigger rubbish pile, because as you can see, we're needing to get more refuse piles down, refuse tiles down, should I say? Look at our leaves. So now we're starting to struggle because you see we're on our nest group. We've only got 1 of 6. You see me noticing a set going like, "Come on, why is everybody being so fucking slow?" And I'll finally realise in a moment that it's... There we go. I'm like, shit, right, okay. We need to drag all them in. But while the workers are doing that, our media ants can be gathering all of this stuff. Look at this. This is a giant harvester spider. Look at the size of it. But like I said, they tend to just bugger off and run away. They don't really want the smoke. As he says, as they just start fighting again. But yeah. Finally, our worker ants are getting on and doing the damn job. Start planting some more. Get the second group going. Lovely. See this giant harvester. This one's being a particular pain in the arse, just because it's bigger, more health, tougher. And our ants are still gathering on the way. Go. Is it constantly getting these media ants going? We can worry about the blue ones, which, you know, we'll see soon, but we'll worry about the blue ones later, because we're currently not under real threat, and just with the weight of numbers, we can basically destroy most things that come our way. Moved everybody back to that group. Got a fucking jumping spider, so fun. There we go. So we probably need about, I'd say like 3 or 4 media ants to kill it. As I decide, you know, it's been a pain in the arse. As they scurry in, scurry out quick. And then we end up chasing them all the way around. Like, for fuck's sake, come back here, you little shit. Yeah. Well, there you go. Killed them off nicely. Right, get ourselves up here. So that patch up top, which we're currently gathering from, that's the most important one that you need to get. Because it's a lot of food for us, and also then it denies the enemy a lot of food. So it's like a mix. This mission is like a mix between food gathering and food sabotaging, essentially. So building a ton of refuse tiles here to try and clear out some of this crap. And get some upgrades going. Because our leaf storage is getting quite tight. So now I've flicked that second, the main nest group back to, you know, the nest workers that we spawned with initially. Flick them now back to help. Get all that stuff done. And we've got the 11 workers that we made in that upper sort of storage area above the entrance. They're now, that's just their job now, to collect. Because our primary focus now is just to be doing this, building these tiles and digging out areas to put more ants. You can see our food's starting to like shoot up quite nicely, but yeah, we need to keep upgrading this leaf storage because we're getting it in at a rapid rate now, which is great. And again, this is like having so many of these media ants helps us. You see on the left on the numbers, you know, the enemy's what, about 1,400 ahead of us. I'm just going to upgrade this to try and get rid of all this waste product as quickly as we can. And now we're starting to really strip this this area. And not get engaged in a fight. So as I said before, we'll get our workers, you know, gathering in different areas. Control group 1. But this seemed to be the primary for this run, is like, I actually didn't run into too many threats that I've really required to jump straight to the blue ants. We haven't bumped into a full-grown mantis just yet. And those are the enemies that I said can spawn in a random location and just shut off access to areas for us. But also shut off access to areas for our enemies. But yeah. There we go. Alright, cool. Got ourselves some beautiful stuff. So now we're going to dig out a nice little area. I'm going to start putting in the blue ants. Ant mages, these ones are called. So fuck it. Let's go with it. So now we're looking at what? 42 media / red marked ants. And then we're going to start gathering ourselves some big boys. Move that group over because everything seems to be going swimmingly in the nest. Let's gather some more grub. Just keep going.
The leafcutters have raised their first major ant. Its swollen head is filled with muscle to power its crushing jaws. Few stand against it in combat and escape unscathed. This champion warrior will make a fine addition to the colony.
We take, what, 15 food at a time, which is beautiful.
Leafcutters aren't the only ants nearby. Whilst the 2 atta colonies joust for territory, Odontomachus Bowery trapjaws roam the clearing.
Size of him.
They can be found hunting alone or in small packs for vulnerable invertebrates to take back to their nest. They use snapping jaws to bludgeon their targets, exerting 300 times their body weight in a single blow.
As you can see, we managed to avoid most of the enemies in the nest, apart from earlier where I upset one, but it wasn't a big deal to deal with. Although it did slow us down, mainly because I didn't realise. But yeah, we're doing good. Now we're starting to gather at kind of the same pace as the ants. And as you can see, as the other ant colony, and as you can see on the mini map to the right, they're starting to gather from those two major areas, which they get like a shit ton of food from, which is really frustrating. What it is. But we are denying this area. We are grabbing from this area, and because they're not pushing this way, we're quite open to gather at this moment in time without issue. And again, this is what I'm saying, this sort of RNG approach. We're actually quite lucky on this run that we haven't had to fight this area. As you see me doing the circle there. Oh, look at them. And these major ants, I think they grab like, it's like 20 food or 25. They gather a lot. Get ourselves in here with a load of...
Night falls, and under the cloak of darkness, velvet worms, bush crickets, and harvestmen emerge from their hiding places. Any ant straying from the relative safety of the trail will likely meet with an unfortunate end.
Man. Nothing we can do. Still at this strength, there's really nothing we can do to push. We could, like, maybe irritate them and push them away for a few seconds. But at this point in time, I feel like it's just too much. It's too much time. Look at this state of this. Yeah, just beavering away and clearing out that area. So I think I was like thinking, oh, I could be cheeky.
The battle has begun.
Try and move over. Look, they got like 700, 500, 1200 food, but you can't run through that little. The ants don't seem to want to run through that little side gap. I think one or two might, but in general they don't. So we scared the harvestmen away. Not a bother. You know, that ant on its own could take two of those enemies. Yeah, you can't just run around that top there. They won't let you.
The larvae must be protected.
And of course,
a Paracanthus varius bush cricket has spotted the ants. Its thorax and appendages are adorned with sharp protruding spikes, offering 360 degrees of protection and turning its substantial forelegs into a pair of deadly flails. This spiny devil will not easily be deterred.
So we're getting more invasions, which is just, you know, swimming. Just what we like.
A fully developed velvet worm measuring a titanic 7 centimeters in length has come face to face with the ants. Only a coordinated, multi-pronged effort by the soldiers will be effective in subduing this mammoth predator.
But yeah, there's the 7'1" who's currently running around eating all of our workers. So we're like, right, we need to move the workers away. So I figured, right, we might as well go left. And try and grab all this food up here. Yeah, again, simply because we have to. We just have to keep gathering. We can't sit around and wait for everything. And if necessary, because we've made the two groups of red ants, red gatherer media ants, we're able just to look at this. Look at this fight. You like climb on his body and attack his tail. There you go. Got him. Everyone's moving so slow. So no, bitch, gather. There you go. System it down there that's fighting us. That looks like a cricket. Yep, that's a cricket. Goodbye. Look how much food we gather in just one go. So many. So that 500 suddenly became, what, 46 in one wave. So basically like 500 gathered in one go. And that's what we have to do. So the AI is currently pulling away, and that's because they're harvesting over here on the right side. Now, interestingly, this is when I decided to call, right, we need to get up here and start disrupting this shit. And start being a pain in the arse. Now, because we've just cleared basically all the enemies from up here, we can get the little workers just chipping away. And this is when we start needing to build the big boys and get more of them ready for this fight, because they are just uber tanks. And we have to go through a few enemies, but nothing we can't handle. Look at that, this is fully grown, was it Bushmaster Cricket or whatever the hell they called it. Love how ants can climb on top of it. Yeah, die. You see, there's really no point in fighting them. It just, apart from clearing the run to supply run, they don't provide any food, and they actually cost food to kill. Because because there's so fucking many. No, we're just having to like mob hand all of this. Yep, you die. Might as well kill that one because we know that one's going to come back and irritate us. So now we're doing asset denial again. I'm like, right, we're going to gather all of this food here because that's 3,000 food, which would just go straight to our opponent. And if they gather it, you know, currently on 10 grand, that's it. Pretty much call it game there. So as you see me move, you know, some red ants over, and I forgot to enable combat, which is why I just ran past him. So there you go, combat enabled. And then we do food gather here. So we just need to, right, gimme. 11:06. Let's see how fast it goes down. Woo! Look at that. Is that 350 basically in one go? Awesome. Just annoying. Just annoyances, nuisances, irritants. Just everywhere. Now, we've run out of leaves to gather. But this has given us time to get rid of rubbish as well. Down to 500. Alright. So I'm constantly up here now keeping an eye because as soon as they come back, as you can see, the ants have now moved over to the left side on the minimap to gather from the west. Which takes them a lot longer to get it. So this is where I started thinking, oh, you know, we might be in with a chance here, but we need to be quick and efficient with our movements. Get gathering quickly as possible. Look at all that leaves coming in. Lovely. Give me the food.
The ants must fight.
Yeah, going this side early is just not viable, basically. These things are fucking annoying. Just constantly getting in the way. These bullet ants. Maybe they'll be in the next update, bullet ants, seeing as they've introduced them as enemies. Maybe we get them as a thing. So they're being obviously bothered by the mobs up there, which is great, but they won't last long. So we're aiming to get ourselves a full stack of the blue ones and then move on to the reds, but I'm also thinking now at this point, you know, maybe we just build more red ants together because they're cheaper, just gather more food quicker. As you can see, they're coming back, returning to gather their food. This is where we start. Going to turn into a fight now. No, turn the food gather off, get everyone up here. We need to start fighting these guys off.
The leaf
What'll
cutters
happen?
have clashed
We fight them,
northeast of
they'll
the nest.
retreat, and then they come back with a fucking strike force to come and get you. And yeah, there's quite a lot as well. Look at this.
As
I'm
the
like,
sun
right, control group
rises
one
over
can
the
go over here and
treetops
just gather
above,
this.
the
We ain't got
diurnal
enough time.
jungle invertebrates emerge once again to replace their nighttime counterparts. The ants will remain steadfast in their efforts. All must be risked for the harvest.
Yep, so kill a couple more. And they should retreat soon. And see how they're just sending wave after wave at us.
The opposing leaf cutters have retreated from one of their harvesting sites. They may have been easily startled this time,
So
but they'll soon be back,
scrap.
and in greater numbers.
So this is where we need to, like, quick, fast gather. Fucking hurry. We swapped it over, so we have obviously more ants gathering, more media ants gathering. And now we need to keep our task force here and ready. So now we start jumping on these more media ants. Just keep building them. Cannot reiterate this enough. Cannot say it enough. So now I'm scrambling because I'm like, right, we know that they're going to come back with this fucking mega strike force. We need to grab as much of this shit as possible. and get the fuck out of Dodge. But, of course, because we've got no leaves in now, we can't build any more bloody ants. Set a little control group 3 there just to gather that small pocket of food. Alright, here they come again.
A territorial dispute has arisen between the Yatta colonies.
Look at the amount that they send at us. Look at that! This is what I mean. It's like you can scare them away, scare their food party away a little bit. But then they just send an absolute mob at you. By the rider, the hero. Jesus. So now I'm just trying to be cheeky and grab this food in front of them. So I'm like, right, we'll disable combat and we'll just have gather, and then they start mobbing this. So I'm like, right, okay, never mind.
A fully grown Pseudoxiops periputra leaf mimic praying mantis is grazing amongst the vegetation. Not only is it more dangerous in its final instar, with near perfect camouflage against the leaves, it is also a master of stealth.
So they're a lost cause, let's look at that. But we managed to take a bit of food. Now we've got this other area to come grab. We should do up here. Oh yeah, that praying mantis is there. We will return up there on the top right. Because a strike force only pretty much, you know, sticks around for a bit and it can only go one way. So you can kind of like just keep splitting and buying time as again, massive mob of bullet ants bother us again. There we go. Look at this. Alright, right, we need to be gathering this actually. Scare them off. See on the minimap that big red blob by their nest is now coming our way for disrupting them. Look at the amount of them. Fucking crazy, man. I'm just sort of like, alright, we need to buy a bit of time, but we can't really fight this.
The opposing Yatta colony has retreated from one of its sites to the northwest, leaving unguarded foliage ripe for the picking.
Now I'm looking at like those two 800 stems. As here comes the fucking mob. I'm trying to see if we can't, you know, squirrel in some extra food. But now that they've left the top right pocket undefended, hey, we'll go back. Fuck them. They're still not gathering from it, so it's like, right, sweet, we'll just go back over here then. Yeah, they got like one ant guarding it. We can get in and grab pretty much 90% of this food by last time. Fucking bullet ants though. They're just so irritating. Come in little mobs, there's no real way you can avoid them. Yeah, so they're securing that west side again. Right, we'll take the top right. As we get a little group gathering down here out the way. Look at this. Yeah, buddy. We know the mantis is around here somewhere, we just haven't seen it yet. Hiding, lurking. But I don't know about you, but I really like this mission. It's actually quite fun. And as you look at the food that we've got, like clusterfuck over there. As you look at the food that we've got, we are really, really, really close to them. So now I'm starting to get an adrenaline buzz, because now I'm starting to feel that, like, shit, we could actually do this. We could actually win. So I'm like hurriedly gathering all this food up here and trying to hope for hoping's sake that we don't get interrupted by anything, because we seem to have cleared, most of the sides. So I'm like, right, workers go over here and everybody else come up here. Everyone is on food gather all the time.
The ants will fight to the death.
Yeah, fucking pull it out. Not really attacking us, they're just sort of like passing through on their path, but as you can see, it just turns into a fucking full-on scrap. So we're 600 behind. And I am desperate to get stuck in. So close. Look at that. 500 apart now. Just like grab it, please. There's no enemies. Please just grab it. Don't alert them. We just decided to stop harvesting this location, I think, because it wasn't worth it. There's more food in those other pockets. I think honestly, the AI was just like, nah, this way's better. Alright, just build more. Come on. 300 off.
The ants will fight to the death.
So there comes the mantis. Alright, fine. We're just going to have to deal with it because we can't do anything else, but we need this food. Look at us. Killing tons of our ants, but, it is what it is. Come on, we're falling behind now. They're only gathering like a minuscule amount. We've got the big numbers up here. Can we do it in time? Like, oh, we can grab this one. No. Alright. Go grab this shit. So I'm like, right, control group 2 can come over here and grab this stuff. Get the areas closer that, we've left mainly because it wasn't worth our time and the enemies are
the hillside atta colony is falling behind. With their demise at hand, they have no choice but to strike back at their opponent.
So we've just taken the lead right towards the end, and they send an absolute mob of people at us. I'm wriggling in my seat. I am jumping up and down. I'm like, come on, look at this red mob come down the center of the mini-map towards us. Got some fucking crickets getting in the way.
Dusk approaches. As the twilight fades, the daytime creatures withdraw to their hidden refuges to wait out the darkness. The ants can afford no such luxury.
Red mob. I'm
the
too
cogs
busy.
of the leaf-cutter machine will grind
and there you
throughout the night.
So now I start shitting myself. Look at how many they are, and they're all level 3s. So now our ants are respawning, but look, the enemy is just about to overtake us. At the top left, we've got 300 food left. Our ants are returning after fighting off the fucking crickets, but obviously they're going to stop and drop and fight all this stuff in here. So we've got to get rid of this first. Look how close we are, and I'm like, wait, do we? If I just disable combat and enable food gather, our ants will pick this food up in here and drop it. But is it enough? It is. It is enough.
The ants have subdued their rivals and achieved dominion over the clearing. As the competition withers, they will extend their territory in all directions, firmly establishing their agricultural empire. One day this colony will number in the millions.
Woo! And that is how we won. By the skin of our teeth. And of course, we're taking the royal jelly. Thank you everybody so much for watching. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.